Hi, and welcome back to Reconnected, your home for everything strategy, innovation, and entrepreneurship. I'm Teromisiani, lead strategist here at Reconnected Africa, and today we're going to be covering a topic that is vital for anyone who is or aspires to become a high stakes investor. Today, I'll be sharing with you guys some tips and insights about how to navigate foreign currency investments into Africa in 2025. Let's get into it. Tip number one. Africa is changing. A huge reason for the huge uptake in foreign investment in Africa is actually the simplest reason. There is finally a change in political temperature. In recent years, African governments have realized that a good way to reduce the amount of state debt to bodies like the IMF is to reduce the amount of infrastructure and development projects in the hands of the government itself. Instead, they have decided to open up our borders to more private foreign investment in order to create development projects that the government maybe is unable to manage and execute themselves. They have achieved this by mainly changing legislation. In the past 10 years, there has been huge changes to legislations around business and investment visas. They have increased the amount of investment required in order to attract more serious investors, but they have expanded the benefits of investment and business visas to allow investors to consider even moving to Africa with their families. Another thing that they did was expand the industries in which you can invest in order to qualify for an investment visa. They have also changed our financial systems in order for us to create a safer financial system for foreign investors to participate in. For example, in recent years, the South African Reserve Bank has dished out a record amount of fines to private banks in order to keep private banks in check. The idea is that if we clean up our financial systems, then it'll be easier for foreign investors to understand and want to participate in the African investment world. There are ever changing and ever growing regulations in Africa due to both political and social changes here being a lot more rapid than in the rest of the world. So I really, really do implore you to first start by doing some updated research on different things like regulations, political temperature, demographics, incomes, education levels, because in the past decade, there has been huge advancement in all those fronts in Africa. Tip number two is currency fluctuations. I don't know how to say this because I like really, there's been so many times where we have had very confused foreign investors who are successful in different parts of the world, like Asia and Europe, having not considered how many currencies there are in Africa. Africa is a very diverse continent. We have over 50 countries with over 42 official currencies, all of which continuously fluctuate and are comparatively weighed against each other. So it is very important before you decide which country to invest in that you know about their currency stability. For example, South Africa is a hot topic right now due to BRICS, but we technically have one of the most volatile currencies in Africa. This is completely different to one of our neighboring countries, Botswana. Botswana's pula is arguably one of the most stable currencies in Africa. The next tip is to de-swift your mind. That's what I say to our clients. In Africa, Swift is not seen as the standard and the default. It is actually a highly inconvenient system. There are multiple ways to move money across Africa within Africa that I think a lot of foreign investors should also consider. It is legal to use all these systems for business as long as you have the compliant paperwork to go along with it. These systems include things like M-Pesa and MoneyGram, which allow you to move up to, I think, about R1 million in each transaction. And the nice thing about MoneyGram and M-Pesa is that even though they are tied to the traditional banking system, they are entirely mobile. It is extremely convenient to move money in and across Africa because of how our mobile banking apps allow such convenient transactions. We also have a huge crypto market here. Crypto works very seamlessly. So Africans who are already used to our seamless banking system find it to be extremely convenient. Crypto is also not just the young man's sport here. It is actually a way for our elderly people and our old people to also maximize their retirement and their pensions. So there is a huge age range and a huge range of application on the different kinds of financial investments and financial transactions that crypto does in Africa. One of the most popular crypto exchanges in Africa is Luno, and Luno is loved for its convenience. It is so easy for anyone to use the app, and they make it easy to understand investing in crypto. So if you're a foreign investor from somewhere like Europe or America with more primitive banking systems, I do implore you to take time on educating yourself on the existing banking systems in Africa. You'll be surprised at how technically advanced it is and how easier it makes it for you to invest in us. And the last tip for this video will be to get into African stock exchanges. You will not believe how many people want to invest in Africa, but don't want to invest in the stock exchanges because we have much longer times of returns than, let's say, the New York or London stock exchanges, just because they are so much bigger than ours. But if you want to build not just one or two successful businesses, but an asset portfolio in Africa, I really do advise you as an investor to look into the different stock exchanges. Now, I'm obviously a bit biased to the South African Johannesburg stock exchanges because not only is it the largest and most advanced on the continent, but I'm South African. But there are other countries with amazing stock exchanges. Like in Kenya, they have the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and Botswana has the Botswana Stock Exchange. The JSE is highly integrated into global stock markets, so it's more seamless for foreign investors to invest in the South African Stock Exchange than they even realize sometimes. It is quite easy. And then similarly, in the Nairobi Stock Exchange in Kenya, they're pioneering new products like real estate investment trusts, green bonds, and things that align with sustainable investments. So understanding the stock exchanges, what trends are prominent, and how they align with your goals as well as an investor is vital. And there's never been a better time than any with all these changing regulations and markets opening up. So yeah, those are all the tips I'll be sharing in this video today. I hope they were helpful to you. But if you are serious about getting into business in Africa, let me take the guesswork out of the equation for you. We at Reconnected Africa are a strategy consultancy that specializes in facilitating foreign investments and helping businesses expand into foreign markets. We design tailored strategies and implementation plans to help entrepreneurs and investors from around the world best set themselves up to succeed in any market. Visit www.re-connected.co and let us know how we can help you.